And here we go. So happy Sunday. Welcome to Medical Tattoo 101, how to start your career as a successful medical tattoo artist. I am so thankful that all of y'all are here on this Sunday with me. This is just the copyright disclaimer. Y'all know the rules. Don't steal my shit. I work hard on it. Oh, also, I know it's Sunday, but I cuss. So if you're not a cusser, I do. I am. So sorry in advance. I'll try to limit them since it's the Lord's Day, but I'm gonna be cussing and I hope that's okay. It's gonna have to be. So hey y'all. Another thing. I am super informal. If y'all have been following me on Instagram, on Google, wherever it is, however you found out about this class, I'm super chill, super laid back. I kind of go back and forth a lot with being like, I'm a girl that want to make sure you get what you need, but at the same time, I don't want you to feel like, you got to be all buttoned up in here because that's not really how your girl get down. I'm super laid back. So I want you to feel the same way. I am so excited. I want to just come on here and say, and before we really get into it, that I'm so excited that y'all are here this morning. First of all, it's Sunday. This is a family day for a lot of people. People be having all the things going on. And for you guys to show up on Sunday, even though this is a free webinar, time is of the essence and your time is valuable. My time is valuable. So I want to make sure that I get through all of the slides because I have quite a few to get through. But I just want to say that showing up is like the hardest part of being successful and being consistent and dedicated and showing up even when you don't feel like the things are all there, but you still show up. You are like 80% ahead of everybody else in the game. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. I hope you get what you need out of this. I would want to say, I said I wasn't going to use the chat, but while we here, drop in the chat why it is that you're here real quick. Everybody type in the chat why you're here. I'm going to read the chat for a minute. So I want to make sure. I always ask my students that when I teach in my classes, like, why did you come to class? Because that way there may be something that I could add to it that may not be on the slides. But if you guys tell me why you're here before we even get started, that will kind of help me guide the way I speak to all y'all. So everybody real quick, drop in the chat why you are here. Why did you show up to this free webinar today? Let's see. Ain't gotta be nothing super deep, nothing super long. Somebody said, I feel like God led me here. I know that's right, honey. I'm looking to get trained and need guidance on how to start, period. Okay, well, Danielle, you the one that gotta go to church. Girl, more understanding.
Yes, ma'am. Gotta go praise the Lord.
Okay. Well, Danielle, I hope you get what you need, but guidance on how to start. Yeah, that's literally what I'm gonna talk about. More understanding. Ramisha, what you saying? More understanding on what guidance. All y'all need me to guide y'all. All y'all need me to be y'all guide, y'all leader. All right, I'm gonna nominate myself. I am the leader of this group today. And in leading this group, this is my lip gloss thing. In leading this group, I hope that everybody finds their way, has their own personal map, and gets to their next destination. You want to start your career as a CTA. What is a CTA? I don't know those little what's a CTA? You're here to gain more knowledge and discard. Camo Fields is a service I've been wanting to do for a while. Right now, I'm licensed PU, but I mostly do brows. Baby, you right here. Friend Shan, it's all you got to do is start. A camouflage tattoo artist. That's what they're calling it now, a CTA. Maybe I should start calling myself a CTA. I did not know they had a little name for it. That okay, then that's what I'm talking about. Let me click this off. I don't need the participants. I wonder if anybody else, real quick, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna try to make sure nobody else trying to hop in here. Don't look like it because I think it would tell me. Okay, cool. So recently graduated from SE school and I'm looking for more info in this field. Yeah, I like that CTA. Been looking for ways to camouflage those stretch marks for years. Why not learn myself, girl? That's the best way. No, it's not just you. So other people call it that? I did not know that. See, that be the thing when you don't really have no friends in the game. I really don't have no other camouflage tattoo artists that's killing it like me that I know. So I don't know what they call the things, but Thank you for telling me that, a CTA. I'm gonna so look into that when I get off of this. Okay, so let's get to it. You are in the right place if close y'all out. Let me close some of my screens out so I can read my own screen. You are in the right place if you are in the beauty industry and want to add this service, if you can relate to self-image struggles and have the desire to help, if you're creative, love people and art, if you're considering changing careers like I did, or if you follow me on social media and have been intrigued ever since, you are in the right place. So yay for you. You showed up just where you're supposed to be. Go ahead and leave now. Go ahead and leave now. You could just put your little church finger up and exit left and I won't be mad. If you're trying to make a quick buck, that's not what this is. That's not what this webinar is for. If you're not compassionate and sensitive to people's insecurities, you are going to struggle in this field because those are all of my clients. If you're impatient, if you don't have patience, this is not it for you. The results are not overnight. Success is not overnight. If you're unprofessional, girl, go ahead because we'll need y'all fucking up for the rest of this because we already get enough grief. Go ahead and don't be adding to the murk. If you're not creative at all, you don't necessarily have to be creative to be a camouflage tattoo artist, but you do have to be creative as an entrepreneur. So if you're fearful, you're going to struggle because you probably going to watch this free webinar that I'm giving and do nothing and then go ahead about your life as it is. And 10 years from now, you'll be doing the same thing. No shade. If you're not self-motivated, you have to be self-motivated as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. You have to be self-motivated. If you have no self-motivation, you are going to struggle. And then lastly, if you sign up for this class, hoping I was going to share my techniques, sorry, Shawty, that's not what this is. Wrong class. But if you guys stay to the end, I have something very, very special for you. So like I said, if that was you and you felt like that ain't what you was trying to do, go ahead and leave. What somebody say? Let me see what the chat said. Oh, Melissa in the waiting room. It's not called CTA, just like it's not called that, or just like abbreviations, girl. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know if that's what it's called or what. But this is what we're talking about. So today I will be talking about the requirements for a tattoo license, different classes and certifications necessary, business licensing, supply list, choosing a location, ways to make money, how profitable this is. And then, like I said, if you stay to the end, I have 2 exclusive offers for everybody who showed up today. So a nurse looking to start up as a camouflage tattoo artist, baby. Hey, Tierra, welcome to the game. Okay, so a little about me. Who am I? So, y'all know I don't know y'all. It feels so weird to be talking to people that I don't know, but I'm hoping that we kind of friends now because we spending our good Sunday. But this is me. I'm LaToya Danique, aka the Scar Alchemist. I am the founder of Scar Alchemy. I am an internationally trained medical tattoo artist. I am a former oncology nurse practitioner. I have over 10 years of experience. For you guys who are not familiar with that term, oncology, that is a nurse practitioner who treats cancer patients. So I always tell people the difference between a nurse practitioner. A lot of people don't know what that is. A nurse practitioner is similar to a physician's assistant, but they have more autonomy and they have more specialized skills. So basically, if you've been to the doctor and you weren't dying or you weren't sick, you probably saw the nurse practitioner. So that's what a nurse practitioner is. I wrote prescriptions, I prescribed chemotherapy, I came up with treatment plans, I diagnosed diseases, I sent people to hospice, I did all of the things. And so I treated cancer patients specifically. I went to Emory University here. I have 2 degrees from Emory. I got my BSN and my MSN, my master's in nursing. I graduated with honors from Emory. I also graduated with honors from the University of Georgia. Go Dogs. And I always talk about that. One thing is because degrees don't make you, that does not make me better than anybody else, but that's something that I'm proud of because I worked very hard and I spent got a lot of damn money to get them degrees. But one little tip is always kind of think about what stands you out from the crowd. So because I'm a medical tattoo artist and I have a 10-year history in the medical field as a medical provider, I think that's very important. And I think that's something that's important for me to share with anybody who's wanting to get into this field. And of course, any of my clients. So that way, when you come to me, there is a level of understanding and knowledge that I bring with me from my past. And it's kind of part of my story. So it's they rocking with me. Them degrees ain't going nowhere. And I'm still licensed. I still have my license. I still could practice. I just don't. I do this full time and I transition full time. I'm dermatologist recommended. I have 5-star reviews on Google. I am a boy mom. If you follow me on Instagram, you guys have seen my little son. I call him Papa. I'm an art enthusiast. I'm addicted to smoothies. I had one this morning and I left it in the damn car. Oh, I left my smoothie in the car. I might have had drunk it all though. And I'm a Rihanna fan. So honey, our girl is having a whole nother baby. And as the baby's fairy godmother, I couldn't be happier. I wonder if she's having a boy or a girl this time. A little light flex so y'all can know who you sitting in the room with. I have over 9 million views on Instagram. And I pop my collar to that because that is without any ad promotion. I don't run ads on Instagram because they don't let me. So, oh, hold on. I forgot. Hold on. I'm supposed to be doing something. Hold on. Recording. I don't run any ads on Instagram because they don't let me. They shadow ban my account all the time. I think it's currently shadow banned. Now my engagement has been like super low. I posted a before and after like a couple of weeks ago and they blocked it. The girls are always talking about my photos. I think it's always a competition. It could not be. Somebody was like, it's probably not that. Let me tell y'all, the algorithm, I mean, Instagram has like over 1 billion people on Instagram. I do have a lot of followers. I have like 30,000 followers, but that's not a whole lot compared to how many people are on Instagram. So if Instagram finds my one little picture that got 100 likes and banned it, somebody probably reported that shit. The algorithm ain't working that hard. But anyway, so the fact that I have over 9 million views on Instagram, one of my reels has like 4 million views and another one has like 3 million views. And then when it was booming, they were getting like 50 to 100, 200,000 views. So I have over 9 million views on Instagram. I've helped over 300 women get their confidence back. I've taught students online and in person from multiple cities across the US. And the one thing that I'm almost like most proud of is I have one of the most ethnically diverse portfolios of any other camouflage tattoo artist in North America. If you follow camouflage tattoos, you will see that a lot of the before and after pictures are of people who don't look like me. And my before and after pictures have male clients as well, people from all sizes, all skin tones, all ethnicities. Sometimes you'll see dark people on my page that may not be Black. A lot of times they may be Latina and things of that nature, Asian. So I have a very diverse portfolio and I like to talk about that because that is one of the reasons why I got into this field. So that's my little light flex. So drop in the chat real quick before I share my story. How did you guys find me? I'm gonna read the chat. Where did everybody find me from? Did all y'all find me from Instagram? How are all of y'all following me? How did y'all find out about your girl? Let me get out of this. What somebody said, Instagram. Was it from the Explore page, Instagram? All y'all found me from the Explore page? Like how y'all found me? Because I don't run no ads. So I'm always curious to how people say they found me. Were you looking for something like this? Are you an artist? I think it's like a few of you guys who are already artists, but it seems like a lot of you are not. I saw you want to be at the conference on Jenny Page. Okay, yeah. I went to the conference last year, so that's dope. Cassandra, are you an artist? Yes, I'm an artist. Shan is an artist. Cassandra is an artist. You are IG looking for artists for training. Okay, cool. So some of y'all are like looking for training. Dope. And on Instagram. Okay, well then there you go. See, the algorithm was doing what it's supposed to do. In 2020, so I always share this story. In 2020, I decided to walk away from a very secure career in traditional medicine to embark on this crazy journey of becoming a tattoo artist. And people always ask me why. And I will tell y'all kind of like it was almost like 3 different things at play. One thing is somebody reposted me and you posted, I went to your page and bam, that's how it happened. See, one of the reasons why is I'll tell you the initial story. So initially what happened was, and this is me working at Emory and at Grady. One of the things what happened was one day, I'll just say, as an oncology nurse practitioner, I have treated people through their darkest days and their darkest times. And I've literally held people's hands like all the way up until, their darkest days into death. And I absolutely loved what I did. That's not a field that you could be in for that time without being able to do it. I loved it. Absolutely. But it does weigh on you. And one day what happened was, one of my breast cancer patients, she was a breast cancer survivor, came in. She was looking for an artist to give her an areola restoration. And so she was being very blunt, and she was looking for a Black artist because she didn't see any artists that specialized in areola tattoos that worked on Black Black skin. And so I initially thought she was naive, just figured that she just didn't know how to find it on the internet. I took it on as my passion project and discovered that the reason why she couldn't find anybody is because there were almost nobody doing it. So it was like, probably at that time, this was in 2019, I think I found maybe 5 artists total in the US that even offered that service. None of them were Black, and none of them were in Atlanta. It was only like an artist in Miami. The next closest artist was Dallas. It was somebody in New York, LA, and somebody in the Midwest. And none of them were Black. None of them were women of color. And like, out of the 5, I probably saw like maybe 6 pictures on all their pages. And I like scoured their portfolios, and I got mad. And so I got mad, and instead of just getting mad, I used that energy and channeled it and was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do this myself. And that's how it started, right? I know, crazy. That's how it started. So that's the one story. The backstory to that is, I had my son. I had just had my son. He had just turned a year, and at work, I was in the hospital, and so I did not have control over my schedule. I could not just take off when I wanted to, and he's my first child, my only child, and I wanted to be present in his life. I was raised by a single mom, and my mom was always working. I always had to miss out on things. And I was one of those people, like, when I got pregnant, I was like, I want to be a very present parent. And so just in that year, there were all these things that came up, him being sick, me wanting to like go to things they had and in his daycare class and I couldn't go to. And that was causing me a lot of like mom guilt, inner turmoil. That was that. And so I had just read this book. I'll share this story. I had just read this book called Big Magic. I'm gonna put it in here. Big Magic. If you are in a place and you're like trying to figure out what the next move is, it's by the lady who wrote Eat, Pray, Love. I had read that book with my book club, and the premise of that book talks about how ideas come out of the heavens, out of the atmosphere, out of the universe, and they want to be made manifest. And so the concept is that everybody, if you're connected to God in any way, and we all are because God created us all, Spirit will give you an idea, and you have a limited amount of time to act on it and move on it and to make it manifest. And if you don't act on that idea will leave you and float away to somebody else in the world, and you'll be watching TV, you'll be reading a magazine, you'll meet somebody, and it will literally be the very same idea that you had. And I know that's big magic because people literally find me all the time and go, I thought of this 5-10 years ago, my clients. I've been thinking about this. Yeah, girl, it was your idea. You didn't do nothing with it. And so I was talking to my book club, and we'd all shared like different times when something like literally like this had happened in our lives. And I was sitting in the park talking big cash money one day. And I was like, the next time something like this happens to me, I don't care what it is. Because the lady in the book had wrote about like, there was a guy who had like a sock company, and it don't have to be nothing super crazy deep. She was like literally saying these little ideas that you do nothing with, those are ideas that are supposed to like help mankind, and you may not even think that that's what they're doing. But she told a story about a sock guy. He had an idea to like put like cool things like dog faces or cats on his socks, because he said whenever he would go into a business meeting when his socks were on point, it would like make him feel more powerful and get him through his days. And now he got a booming sock company, and all they do is just make funky socks. And so I was like, the next time an idea like this happens, I get it. I don't care what it is. I'm doing it. Fast forward, It was only 3 months later. Fast forward 3 months later, my patient came in. I went to my office. I started doing research, couldn't find it. And I tell people all the time, it's like this idea floated I still remember it, like I get chills. It literally was like the idea floated down and landed on because I'm a sticky girl, landed on my sticky. And it was like, you could do it. And I literally sat there and was like, whoa, hold up. And that's how this happened. So that's what I left. I walked away from all of that. And I started this. But what I gained, so that's kind of like my little intro story. But what I gained was so much more. These are just some photos of like where life has taken me since then. So I gained freedom, accomplishment, financial success, multiple streams of income, personal reward. Like these are all pictures. This is me and my son at the zoo. Now that's like one of our things. We dress up and go to the zoo for Halloween. This is us at the pool. This is me being able to be present for homecoming. At his school, pre-K, they had a carnival for homecoming, and I was able to go because I worked for myself. And when I worked at the hospital, I had to ask for a day off 3 months in advance, y'all. 3 months in advance, I had to get a day approved. Even if it was like a mental health day, I had to get it approved before I could take off a 90-day notice to take one day off. And now I don't have to do that. This is me in Cabo. I went to Cabo. It was my first time taking a international business trip as a business owner. And it was a luxurious trip. As you can see, I was on a camel, I was in Cabo, I stayed at a 5-star hotel. So all of that to show like you can still live your dreams working for yourself. This is me, one of my clients. This is me being honored at a convention. That's my baby down there. And this is me outside of my loft that I have now moved in, and moving up from my 100-square-foot room to a 1,200-square-foot 2-story loft. So if it sounds echoey in here, it is. That's what y'all hear. So that's just kind of like where things are and what I gained by leaving. So if any of you guys are there, afraid, scared, just know that it's possible. Every success requires sacrifice. I will say that, but that does not mean you gotta like lower your standards, or it's not a bad thing. It's just there is going to be an exchange for being successful. Like, for example, it is a beautiful day outside here in Atlanta. My mama asked me, did I want to go to brunch? My son is gone with his dad for summer break. I'm out here looking all good and sexy, but I'm in here talking to y'all. That's a sacrifice. But do I think this is worth it? Absolutely, because I'm sharing my information. You guys are going to share, give me some feedback, and hopefully we all win. But that's what sacrifice looks like. But I don't do this every Sunday, so it's okay. Why I'm teaching this class today, the truth is there are not enough medical tattoo artists. So many people don't even know this exists. Like, you probably didn't know this exists until you got here, right? So many people don't know this exists. And by teaching this class, my hope is to raise awareness about medical tattoos, not a typo, girl. Inspire budding or established artists to consider these services. So for my artist friends that are on here, if you're looking to get into this industry, if you are already in this industry, welcome to this. I hope you add this service so more people can benefit from it, and to give people who are hiding behind their scars a chance to be seen. I get so many consultation requests and emails from people who like live too far that I can't personally help. And I feel bad about it, but I don't feel bad about it because I know the reality of the situation is I can't help everybody. I don't want to be the girl that does everybody. I don't want to be that person. I want it to be a tribe of us. I want to be able to say, oh, I have a student here, or I have an artist friend here. I literally have a handful of people that I can refer people to, and that's not enough. So I'm hoping that by the end of this class, you will have a blueprint, you'll have what you need, and then you'll stop bullshitting and you'll come join me. Because the truth is, I can't do it all by myself. So with that being said, y'all ready to get into it? Drop a heart if you still rocking with me. I want to make sure, because I can't see y'all, I can't hear y'all. Drop a heart if you still rocking with me. Yeah. Okay. Anybody have any questions about anything I shared so far? Because I want to respect y'all too. Anybody have any questions about anything I shared so far? Thank you. Heart. There's way more people on here than these little fire raggedy hearts I'm getting. Please don't be shy. I already can't hear y'all, but I'm gonna need this to be. I don't like when it's dry. So if it's feeling dry, somebody just drop it and be like, girl, you getting dry. But some of that's I'm gonna need to get the energy from y'all because I can't see y'all. I got my big screen up. So I appreciate y'all. So let me tell you, I usually save this kind of stuff for the end, but it's a Sunday, so we're gonna put this out here and just get into it so y'all understand that y'all leaving money on the table. The beauty industry, and I just looked these statistics up like maybe 2 days ago. The global cosmetic market was valued at $262 billion in 2022. We are currently in 2023. In 2023, the beauty and personal care market has already grown to $579 billion. And we are not even completely through the year. We just hit the halfway point. Y'all understand that? I'm trying to get y'all to understand that the market is fertile. It's fertile ground out here. In the cosmetic industry in 2017, and I need to update this stat. In 2017, there were 17.5 million surgical and minimally invasive cosmetic procedures. Y'all know, and I meant to add the statistics, but during COVID, while everybody else was at a standstill, the plastic surgery community had a huge growth. So just yesterday, I read an article from Allure magazine and I posted it in my stories. Maybe some of y'all saw that they're having another surge. So basically what happened is the American Society of Plastic Surgeons polled surgeons nationwide and found that 3/4 of cosmetic focused plastic surgery practices are seeing more businesses than before the pandemic. So since COVID, the plastic surgery industry has boomed. And what they've all been contributed to is saying that because people are at home, they can recover. So they can recover because a lot of more people are working from home. And then they just said that people being on Zoom and being on these calls where you literally had to look at your face all the time and your face was in front of people all the time, people started looking at themselves, and then people just started kind of having this whole self-care wave came on. And these are not just BBLs and lipos. These are all kinds of facial cosmetic surgeries that people want to have. So right now, because y'all know they have the writers strike going on in LA, the Hollywood A-listers and B-listers are literally they interviewed this plastic surgeon. He said people are calling him on Friday nights and on the weekends trying to get in, and he has celebrities lined up. They've already paid their deposits so they can get into surgery because they don't know when the strike going in and they don't want to miss this time. And he was like, this is stuff that they probably have always wanted to do. They just don't have a downtime. And since there's an indefinite downtime, they're trying to do it. Crazy, right? And then, stretch mark prevalence. Stretch marks affects 8 out of 10 people. That's men, including women. So I say that to say, because I think I don't know, it was last time I saw this class, but every couple of months, somebody will message me and go, is this a profitable market? And I'm like, girl, where do you live? Absolutely. More than enough. Potential earnings. So we're going to get this out of the way so you know what's up. A new client averages about $1,000. My services, if you go to my website, if you go to frequently asked questions, if you fill out the consultation forms, I start my camouflage for stretch marks at $850, and the price ranges from $850 to $3,000. So I gave y'all a low average. That's $1,000 for a new client. For scar camouflage is even more. It's $1,500 to $4,500. So, I'm averaging $1,000 for a new client. So if we do a new client every day, one new client, 5 days a week, that's $5,000 a week. That adds up to $20,000 a month. And that's a yearly income of $240,000. So granted, this up and goes. It's not saying it's Bible, it's gospel. I'm just giving y'all an idea of the possibilities. And this is, lower average. So I think it's worth your time. And then this is another question. So I'm trying to knock the heavy hitters out very early. Do you need a medical background? So if you are on this webinar and you don't have a medical background, do not fret. There is opportunity for you. Most people that I know don't have a medical background. I'm probably like the unicorn that does, but no, the term medical tattoos that I use, it just describes the type of tattoo. It doesn't describe the background of the artist. And the purpose is to distinguish these tattoos from traditional tattoos like flowers, designs, or when people will ask me like, oh, do you do microblading? And I don't do brows. Those are more like permanent makeup or just cosmetic things, but medical tattoos are more to describe tattoos that are designed to aid physical restoration due to medical procedures, events, or diagnosis like surgery, hypopigmentation, different cases of vitiligo, stretch marks. I include stretch marks because people don't know, but stretch marks are scars. That is actually scar tissue that you are seeing that has your skin has pulled apart, and the skin underneath, the lighter colored skin, is the second layer of your skin. So that's actually a scar that your body formed as a result of stretching, hormones, growth, blah, 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 blah. And then trauma, that's also included in medical tattoos. And no, you don't need a medical background, but it does help. Having a medical background has benefited me tremendously. I came in this industry with a wealth of knowledge that I apply to tattoo. It helps me choose better candidates. I am able to adapt what I learned better because I know a little bit more. I have critical thinking skills. I can discern good clients from good candidates from non-candidates. I know when something is safe to tattoo and when it's not. And the beauty of this is very few of my students have medical backgrounds, but they flourish because of my knowledge. So I infuse everything that I learned in that 10 years and I put all of that information in my course. And if you are trained by me, you kind of like get a one-up because you don't need any of that. You don't have to do all of them years of medical training like I did, but you get the information that I learned and I put that in my courses. So you got a little one up on everybody if you decide to train with me. There's a little shameless plug. These are just some of the things that some of my clients have said. She says she'll rate this experience a 10 out of 10. My customer service is out of this world. Thank you, darling. This is one of my favorite clients. She said she had a really bad scar from a tattoo removal that she didn't think could ever be fixed. I was a godsend, and within a few sessions, her scar was covered, and she cannot thank me enough. And this is another client. She said after her first session, she already could see a great improvement in the appearance of her stretch marks, and it was a wonderful confidence boost. So those messages, those are things from clients always kind of keep you going. Somebody, because people would just say, people be saying all kind of crazy stuff. Somebody posted on one of my photos, it was like, I love your work. I think you're awesome, but this isn't your best work. I'm like, girl, the clients was happy. Who am I more concerned with? The person trolling on Instagram or the person who paid me for the service and is blessed and overjoyed and now is confident from the service. So, that kind of stuff just gonna come with it. So you got to be able to roll with the punches and not get caught up in what's not important, right? Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into the meat of this class. So this is the secret. Tattoo practices are not universal. So if you got on here and you want to know how to get started, let me just catch you up to speed. There is no blueprint that you can just straight up follow that's gonna work every time, because tattoo practices are not universal. What that means is they vary from state to state, city to city, county to county. I live here in Georgia. My studio is in Atlanta, and Atlanta has two counties, Fulton and DeKalb County. So my previous studio was in DeKalb County, but was still in Atlanta. And now I'm in Fulton County. They operate totally different. So you have to follow the guidelines of where you are. So one thing you could do is you could just do a quick Google search, how to become a tattoo artist for your state. And then this QR code has a link to my vendor list. My vendor list includes a website where you can literally just click on the link and click on the state that you're in, and it'll tell you the guidelines for that state. So you can scan the QR code. I'll put it up later on, but that's one thing. So I always tell people, that's kind of how you're going to know what to do in your area. For example, in some states, they make you go to tattoo school. Like you have to go to school, like they have a tattoo school. Like I think like in Oregon, one of my trainers was in Oregon. I met a girl out there and she was like, yeah, you have to actually go to school, like tattoo school to be a tattoo artist. That's not the case everywhere. So it varies and it's not the same, what they do in Atlanta is not the same thing they do in Macon. It's not the same thing they do in Columbus. It literally varies. It's almost like alcohol laws. So asking like, what do I need to do? That's why even this last one, I'm gonna give you guys an overview of basic requirements that are kind of consistent, most consistent from most places. This is a tip. Look at the laws and the policies in the area that you want to practice in the city and the county, because they might vary. So some states regulate tattoos, like some states require you to take your exam through the state, like just like having, and Georgia is supposed to be going that way. Like supposedly within the next 6 months to a year, but it was supposed to happen this year, meaning like when you Google, how you go, I don't know if some of you guys go, but how if you want to see if somebody holds a professional license, like my nursing license is regulated by the state. My NP license is regulated by the state. Like cosmetology, you can look up to see if somebody has their cosmetology license because that's regulated by the state. All of those different things, like different contracting licenses are regulated by the state. Tattoo laws are sometimes regulated by the state. Not yet here in Georgia, but it's supposed to be happening. And then you have to see what the practices are for the city, because the city will have its own thing. Like here in Atlanta, I have a business license for the city of Atlanta, and the county with purchasing your vendor list are your links. Your vendor list are your inks and how to mix them on there. The inks are on there. How to mix them is not on the vendor list. The inks, the vendors that I use are on the vendor list. How to mix the inks is taught in class. So also check the Board of Health for your county and if anything is required for your city, because it could be very different. So the first step would be you can Google what's required for the state, look into what's required for the city and the county that you think you want to practice in. So just be mindful. Let's say you live in a city, but you don't think that might be where you want to start practicing, where you want to do your studio at. Look at where you want to work at, not necessarily where you are. Like I had a student who took my class and she lived in some little place that was close to, like, let's say the DMV area. Y'all know how you have like Maryland, Virginia, DC. Those are all so close. So like it might be easier to get a tattoo license in Maryland versus Virginia. And if they're close, then it's no big deal because you could just practice where you want to work in. So is that clear? Y'all understand that? That's what I would say. Look for the law for where you want to work, where you want to practice, where you think you want to put your studio, not necessarily where you live. The most common requirements, these are the most common requirements that you probably are going to need. So this is what you'll need to know. A body art license, a body art studio permit. This is if you're going to be a solo artist. So if you work in a studio, if you work in somebody else's studio, like if you want to go to a local tattoo artist and ask them, can you rent a room? Or if you want to come into another artist, they have another PMU artist and they have a room you want to rent, you won't need the body art studio. But if you want to do anything by yourself, if you're going to be your own artist, you're going to have your own room, your own private studio, then you'll have to have a studio permit. Tattoo insurance. I would recommend tattoo insurance since I would recommend tattoo insurance to protect yourself and to protect your business, your investment, all of the things, because anything can happen. It's like having a car without having car insurance. You want to have tattoo insurance. In order to have tattoo insurance, they will likely require you to have some type of certification. They're not just going to give you insurance without knowing what you want to do. It's just like they don't give you car insurance if you don't have a license. Same thing. So certifications and classes. Business license for your state and or your city, a biomedical waste contract. Those are the people who picks up like your sharps bin for your needles and your medical waste, depending on what your county health department requires. So you'll need that. And then of course, supplies, your payment processor, a website, scheduling software, marketing and advertising, and then clients. So this is more or less the outline of what you need to get started. If you have these things, you're ready to go. And I'm going to go through some of the things. So for the body art license, you have to generally like complete a body license application and pay the fee. Here in Atlanta, it's crazy how Atlanta does it. The Atlanta Police Department regulates this. So I'll explain how my process was here in Atlanta. So here in Atlanta, you start with outside, and this is just for a body art license. This is outside of having a business license. To get a body art license, you have to go to the police department, they fingerprint you, they require a medical exam, they require a hepatitis B vaccine, they require a background check, they do fingerprinting, you have to show proof of your basic first aid and a bloodborne pathogen certificate, a copy of your ID, you have to show proof that you live in the area, and as well as from the Department of Health, they require some of these same things. So this is how I started here in Atlanta. You have to go through the police department, show all of this, and then they will give you a body license permit for you. So the Board of Health also has its own set of regulations that you have to do. The Board of Health is usually who requires you to do a body art exam. You have to take a test and then CPR. So these are just some tips. Every time y'all see this little diamond, these gonna be my little gems. One thing, the medical exam. If you're already working, you have a good relationship with your doctor, it's basically just an exam that says that you don't have any highly communicable diseases. If you have a good relationship with your doctor, I would just kind of like put that in their ear, tell them you need this, and go look it up. And it's just literally, where do you get tattoo insurance? I have 2 vendors that are linked in my vendor list. Some physicians may be hesitant to give you a broad medical clearance, but that's why I always say, like, this is helpful for you if you want to get started, you don't know what to do. It's literally a form they fill out, and it depends on what the requirements are for where you are. Hepatitis B, everybody's going to require you to have a vaccine. If you don't want to get vaccinated, you just remember you have to waive that. But if you are already working, have a job, have insurance, and if you're already in healthcare, you probably already have been vaccinated. And then if not, most insurance covers hepatitis B vaccinations because it's preventive healthcare. So go ahead and get that going. Go ahead and start working on those things so we can kind of like, you can cross that off your list. Basic first aid, you can get certified through a basic first aid course. They can either be done in person or online. They are often done in conjunction with CPR. This is important because you'll need to be aware of, different issues that can come up while you're tattooing, like hypoglycemia, bleeding issues, how to properly bandage a client in case of injury. All of those, the ones that I use, the ones that I keep my first aid certifications updated are in my vendor list. And that's the QR code to scan it if you want to buy the vendor list, or you could look for it yourself. But those are the companies that I use, and they're all legit. The bloodborne pathogen universal certificate, you are going to need this in order to get your body art license. Everybody's going to require you to have a bloodborne pathogen. I require this for my class, for students taking my class. It's the same thing. It just makes sure that you understand that you can be exposed to different viruses during setup, procedure, breakdown, cleanup process. You'll need to be familiar with the OSHA practices. OSHA is the governing body that regulates like anything safety, medical, disease related. All of these certifications, these are preliminary certifications that you need, can be found in the vendor list. The body art studio permit. Typically what's required if you want to have your own studio, you'll need like a list of names and duties of your staff. If it's just you, you just say what your names and duties are. You'll need your floor plan for the area. They usually require you to get a fire inspection just to make sure it's safe. And you'll need a Board of Health inspection. That's usually what's required for the studio permit. And then I told you what the Board of Health usually requires for the body art license. It's usually CPR, first aid, hepatitis B vaccination. You'll need a body art exam. And a lot of times they'll provide you what the study guide is on the website. So it's not something that you need to be fretting about. Insider tips regarding state business licensing and city business licensing. So I'll say this, people message me all the time and say, do you have to have a license to do this? No, the body art license and the tattoo. So That's a good question, Ramisha. So different places call tattooing different things. So some people, some cities, counties regulate permanent makeup, which is generally like eyebrows, lips. They'll call that permanent makeup, and they'll call camouflage tattoos on the body, like what I do, that they'll call that body art. So like traditionally tattooing, like regular tattoos that you see and the type of tattoos that I see, I do both. So that's why you'll see me on permanent makeup things, because anything on the face is kind of more or less permanent makeup. This is like a permanent makeup-ish procedure, but some places say permanent makeup is semi-permanent makeup done on the face. Some cities define it as that. That's why I remember I said it's not. I'm leaning up like you can see me. I'm leaning up looking at your thing. And remember when I said that it's not is not universal. So some places define permanent makeup as semi-permanent procedures done on the face, and everything outside of that is considered body art. So body art is usually tattoo. So yes, tattoo license and body art license are the same thing. It just depends on how they word it wherever you are. So I have a body art license and body art covers permanent makeup. Does that make sense? So that is not the same as the business license for the city or the business license for the state. So again, people ask me, they'll say, after I take your class, will I have a license? After you take my class, you'll have a certification. However, the area that you're in, they actually qualify you to be able to practice in the area. You'll get a certificate, which is what you'll need usually to get tattoo insurance. You got to show that you took somebody's class, and the person whose class you took is da, 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 da. So you need your certifications for the courses, and you usually need that to show for insurance. And sometimes you need that in order to get a tattoo license. It just depends. But the business license and the city business license are like your standard business license that you go online and apply for your business license. Here in Atlanta, I have to have a city of Atlanta business license as well. So I have a state business license and a city business license required for the city of Atlanta. That's not universal. Some places, depending on where you are, you don't need a license for the city. You could just have a business license. And then it generally depends on what you do. Like some of the boutiques or things like that, they don't necessarily have a business license. The attorney that's next door to me doesn't need a business license to practice in the city of Atlanta. So it just depends. So follow your state's procedures regarding a business license. Not all states require a business license. I think in Texas, y'all don't even have to have a business license. My sister lives in Texas and she told me that. So not all states require you to have a business license. Not all cities do. I'm just telling you to look into all of that and then research the requirements prior to signing a lease. This is my biggest gem. Do your information before you sign a lease so you know what you get into, because it just depends on where you are, what the requirements are regarding tattoos, because it's not universal. So that would be my biggest gem. And then just remember, location is everything. Be mindful of licensing and fees that require you to add to your overhead costs. So that's why I said, think about where you want to practice at, because it may be cheaper for you to, you may live somewhere and it may be the next little city over, maybe 20 minutes from you, and it may be more advantageous for you to get a studio there because the rent is cheaper versus where you currently live. So that's what I said about, just do your research. And then zoning requirements, that is another thing. So before you sign a lease, look into zoning within your city. If you generally go, like my first studio was in like a salon suite. So if you go somewhere that's like a salon suite and they have like different artists doing the same thing in that one building, you're generally good, but you also have to look into that, because that also comes up. Like right now I got into this new studio and now I'm having to go through all of the zoning requirements for this area, because the building I'm in didn't have that information when I moved in. So I'm having to do it myself. So this is a gem for you to save you a lot of time and a lot of headache and a lot of money. So just do all of that before you sign your lease. Okay. Any questions so far? Anybody got a question they want to come on? You can unmute yourself real quick. Anybody have a question about any of that? Are y'all good? Drop in the chat if you still good. Is the chat still here? No? Y'all good? I can keep going? Okay, cool. Good. GPS. Good. Cool. You welcome. Thank you. Okay. Ooh, how did it go back that far? That is not where I was. My bad, y'all. Hold on. I must have hit this thing 2 times. And let me just say, I teach this class too. I used to teach this. I used to charge for this class. And now I'm just teaching it for free, but I may or may not be teaching it for free all the time. But I would say it took me months to figure this out. So you guys are getting a cheat code. I had to do all of this research, scour the internet. It's not written in stone anywhere. When you take somebody's class, they don't tell you this stuff. And it's not universal. When I took my first class, I took my class with a young lady who, damn, why does keep doing this? Hold on, y'all. In Miami, she didn't know what the rules was for Atlanta, and she didn't give a damn. So, and she wasn't really trying to help me out. So the truth is, you're getting it all in one, and I've done the hard work so you can catch up. Okay. Next thing I would do, so now we have all of that about location, art, your licensing for your permit or your studio. Let's get paid. Consider how you'll receive payments, what you're going to use: Square, Stripe, PayPal, Zelle, however you want to make your payment. You need a good payment processor. Look at the fees for that and just do a cost comparison. A lot of people use like Stripe. A lot of people use Square. I personally use Square. I'll tell y'all why I use Square, because Square gives business loans. So for example, you basically you don't have to apply for loans to the bank. They give you business loans based on how well your business is doing. So when you're getting clients in, they will offer you a loan. It has like a 0 repayment fee. They usually charge you like an amount for the loan up front, and then you pay it back with your sales. So I don't have to make any additional payment. Whenever I make a transaction, they take a portion of that transaction out and it's paid for. Love it. So that is why I use Square. I don't know if Stripe does that. Maybe PayPal does that too. Not quite sure, but I use Square as my main payment processor, but I use PayPal. I also use Stripe in different areas. Like my online course, that's connected through Stripe. People can pay for services through PayPal as well. I always try to give people multiple ways to get the bag. Give me the money in all of the ways possible. Open a business checking and savings account. You'll also need to do that in order to hook these two together. So you're gonna get you a payment processor, basically, like, meaning when somebody pays for a service and they use a credit card, how you get the money is the payment processor. Where the money goes is your accounts. And then QuickBooks, HoneyBooks versus a financial tax advisor or keeping good records. This is gonna come into play because at the end of the year, when you got to pay your coins to the IRS, you want to already have this stuff set aside. When I first started, I just was keeping good records and receipts. And then I took all that shit to my tax lady at the end of the year, and I was scared as hell. Now I have an accountant and I pay my taxes quarterly, and I send my receipts off and I scan them and I send them to a portal, and she does all of that for me. And then we have a meeting like every couple of months to see where my business is. And that is an additional fee, but it's so much easier than trying to go back at the end of the year and remember what I did. But I also will say I'm in my 3rd year now into this, and I'm making a good amount of money that's necessary, but I didn't do that when I first started off. So don't feel like you need an accountant from the beginning. But I will say having an accountant probably in the beginning will save you so much more money and headache down the line. And a lot of times it's tiered, meaning like if you don't require a lot of work, you don't pay the same as somebody else who requires more. I have 2 big projects and my accountant helps me with both. So that's why I have an accountant. Okay. And that's just good business. Always good business to have somebody double checking and making sure you don't want to lose your money. I had a friend who has $1 million business, and he said his first year he made like 10, something stupid, like, maybe I might be exaggerating. Maybe he made $10 million the first year. I don't know. We're going to drop it down. Let's say he made $2 million the first year, but he said he had to pay out like over half of it in taxes because his accounts weren't set up correctly. So he lost it all. He made it back, but when you make that money, you got to give it all away because you was fucking up. That don't feel good to nobody. Insider tips. Consider banks that offer support for small businesses. So when you look into like setting up who your business account with, look at banks that offer support for small businesses. Like maybe use your credit union. People always talk about Navy Federal. Look into banks in your area that offer support for small businesses. I always drop this gem and talk about this course. I don't know how long y'all have been following me, but a couple of years ago, I took this course that Bank of America offers called the Cornell Business Course. I did this so long ago, I cannot give you any advice other than Google and find this shit yourself. I reached out to this girl that I have been following for years. She had a t-shirt company and I was like, hey girl, I'm a slide in your DMs type of girl. I was just like, I like admire her for what she was doing. She was doing so much stuff. And I was like, do you have any like just tips that you could recommend? Because I was brand new, didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And so she recommended this course and she was like, that's all she said. She said, I took this course with Cornell. That's what she said. She said, I took a business certification course with Cornell and it was life-changing. That's all she gave me. I went and did my own research and found the course. I knew she didn't go to Cornell because I had been following her for years. I don't even think she had a college degree, but she took this course. And so I found a course, got on the wait list, was on the wait list for an entire year. And then they hit me up and was like, are you ready to get in? And so it's free, but because they have a wait list, you just have to wait so long because sometimes companies pay for people to be into the program. So I think it's like 50, like half of the people in the program are on like a scholarship that their company paid for. And then the other half that's their charity give back. That course was amazing. I wish I would have had that course in the beginning. So if you're new or you haven't started out, get your ass on that wait list and get ready. If you're already doing it, I'm sure it is so much information you can learn from that course. So that's my tip. And don't forget or be afraid to apply for grants. They take a lot of work, but your girl got a grant this year. That's me picking up my grant check. That was a 5-figure grant, and that's how I paid my deposit and was able to move into this loft because of the money from that grant. So don't be afraid or don't forget to apply for grants. Dreams do come true. The next thing you would need is a scheduler. So you could be old school and schedule these girls yourself, or you could get hip to the game and have online scheduling. And the link that you all got to get into the Zoom, that's through the scheduling company that I use. It's an app called Visita. I absolutely love it. I'm gonna give y'all a little sneak peek of why I like it and what all it could do. And before I was using Visita, I was using Square to do my scheduling and I hated it. Oh, I hated it. It was just a little like old school, but they have Acuity, they have StyleSeat, they have all of these different types of schedulers. I think HoneyBooks has a scheduling in it. If you ever have done anything online with somebody, just look and go, get your hair done, you get your makeup done, your lashes done, wherever. Look and see what schedulers those people use. And if you like it, a lot of times the places will have like a live demo or not. They'll have like a free trial or something like that. I had tried like Acuity for, I think, a free trial and I didn't like it. It was just, I really just didn't like it. Some of them aren't as, some of them you can't like, what's the word I'm trying to use? You can't kind of like modify it. It's like basic or like you have to set in certain times or, it's just very like real stiff. That's kind of how Squares was. What I have now, you literally can like differentiate every single thing you do in there. I absolutely love it. That's where all my client records are. It's a one-stop shop for it. It's kind of like what people use at the hospital. So I absolutely love it. And then some scheduling hosts allow you to incorporate a website or they'll offer a website host. And so they may have like with Acuity, I think you get a website with it. So you use the scheduler and it gives you a website and it may be like an additional fee. So you don't have to have a separate site for your stuff. So that's just stuff to like look into for you to kind of just decide which way you want to go.
Every day, Visita helps over 100,000 small.
Pause. So this is what I use, the scheduler that I use. It has a scheduler, calendar. If you've ever gotten some kind of text message from me, it came through this app. So I have a business phone, but I text my clients through this app. And I like it because I can keep records of everything we talked about. Like, it's all good before I had a bunch of clients, but I got like I probably got about 12 Britneys And how do I remember which Brittany is Brittany? And so all of their information is inside of this one app. Before I use this, I was having my invoices. I was doing my invoices on Canva. I didn't like the ones they had on Square. Square had just got to the point where you could like invoice them inside of the app. So I had my invoices that I was using on Canva, and I was saving them somewhere, and then I would put them in Square, and I would save them somewhere, and then I would have this over here. All of that's gone. The way I talk to all of my clients is through this app, Visita. Every document that I send them through the thing. So like when I have people come and I send them like the pre-registration, or I send them pre-care stuff, I give them information. All of my clients who come, I give them like a welcome packet. All of my students who actually come to Atlanta and the ones who do the virtual course with me, they get a welcome packet. And so everything, every communication that I have, I send it through Visita. You can send emails, you can send text messages. Absolutely love it. So I'm gonna just show you guys what it is, just so you can have an idea. They do free demos. That's how I took this girl's. There was a girl here in Atlanta, her and this girl I follow. The girl is a marketing chick and she sells hair. She's a hairstylist. I took their class for like a promo. They were doing like a marketing class like a couple of years ago. And how we bought the class, kind of like how y'all got this free webinar, it was a class that I bought, but she hosted it on Zoom and it was through the CETA. So you got a notification just like how y'all did, like, hey, here's the class, here's the link. And before I used to have to create a link. All of those things. This thing creates a link, so I don't have to do none of that. And so I was like, what? I asked her when we were in the class, I was like, what is that thing that you used? Because it was automated. And she said this. She was like, Visita, I had never heard of the shit. Went, found it. They gave a free demo and the man sold me on the demo. And I have been a loyal person ever since. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And they keep growing. The business keeps growing. So like even now you can, when you do your contracts or when you do invoices, now they have a feature where you can sign the document. You know how you sign on stuff? Before I used to have to use a different app for that. Now that it's in this. So they keep adding and keep building on to this. So I absolutely love it. So I'm gonna show y'all, give y'all a little sneak peek.
Small biz owners live their dream. Just ask any one of our customers and they'll tell you a similar story. That running their own business is more about building their future than beating the rat race. It's about being in your element, fulfilling your true potential, starting your day your way, finishing it with a smile, and wanting to do it all over again tomorrow. At Visita, we're passionate about helping people with big ambitions and limited resources do more of what they love and less of what they don't. That's why we created a comprehensive solution that lets you do everything you need without the hassle and cost of juggling multiple apps. Run your business admin on autopilot. Build lasting relationships with client cards that guarantee you never forget a face. Get your services booked in a snap. Bulletproof your calendar with automated SMS reminders that keep clients on time. Collect payments with actionable invoices and friendly payment reminders. Engage and reach out to clients with interactive tools. Make it easy for clients to work with you. Focus on making your customers happy and focus on making you happy. Because we know once you've tasted success, there's no going back. Visita, build a business you're proud of.
Yeah, okay. So I just wanted to show y'all that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. Keep going. I got that, Ramisha. So here's my referral link. If you decide to use Visita. Like I said, if you use this link, I think it will take you to a link to register for a free demo. And then I get a credit, of course, if you decide to come on. But I absolutely love it. Like I said, girl, just not going back. So Ramisha, here is your question. Insider tips: if you're asking for luxury premium services, invest in a website. You know, the Instagram people would tell you don't need a website. You don't need a website, but I think it definitely makes a difference for the amount of the services that I charge. I think it's a little crazy not to have a website, because that definitely makes you look more credible. And it's just think of it as like a landing page for people to access information without necessarily having to talk to you on the phone. So here are all sites for websites: Squarespace, Wix, Reddit, WordPress, Shopify, Weebly, GoDaddy. It's probably a whole bunch more. I used to have Squarespace. I got a new website this year. I use Wix, and one of the reasons why is because they have payment plans. Squarespace wouldn't allow me to incorporate like Sezzle or Afterpay into the website. Wix has that. That's one of the things they offer with their website. So again, remember, I'm giving y'all tips to cut you down. Had I known that from the beginning, I would have got a Wix. I don't even know if Wix was out when I first started, but I would have used a different website. So, you live and you learn, didn't know that. And, Sezzle and Afterpay wasn't like the thing at first. And so now it is. And so these websites, where did that come from? Did I do that? I have to go back and fix that. That's going to bother me. I'll go back. You also need a business email. With this, remember to pick something that's professional, y'all. Your Yahoo stuff not gonna work. Get you a Google, get you an email. Like mine is Latoya Escar Alchemy. That usually comes with your website. They may give you like a dedicated professional email. So you'll need a website. You'll need a business email. Business phone, that's on you. I do have a business phone. Usually you need those things, a business email, a business phone, a business address in order to apply for grants, as well as to apply for loans out, if for the bank. So those things make you more reputable. Nobody gonna really pay you attention if you don't got a website. You're really not going to pay you attention if you're using your personal email address as your email. And it's going to look like your personal email address if it's Sean1354 at blah, 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 blah. It needs to be something more sophisticated, more standard, so they can take you seriously, so they think that you're legit. And then financing for services, I got put on to Cherry last year. I used Cherry, Ramisha. That's a company for financial assistant. Wise Bank is another one. I've done services with Wise Bank, but I don't know. I can't tell you if they do cosmetic services. And then there's another company that I'm looking into, and I couldn't remember the name of it to add it into this, but when I come across it, I might find it before I send y'all the thing out. And if not, just DM me and ask me. But there's another company that I'm going to look into probably partnering with. But Cherry is basically a service that so the payment plans are for people who are not doing services. The services for like my actual services for camouflage tattoo, that is with Cherry. They're like a company that uses like medical and cosmetic services. Doctors' offices have them. And so that allows people who want to get camouflage tattoo, and it's a whole process that I'm not privy to as far as like the Cherry can approve them, but Cherry approves like up to $10,000. It's like a soft credit check. It doesn't affect your credit. And then they pick the payment plan that they want to pay, what their monthly payments are. And I'm not even privy to that. They basically pick their payment plans. I get paid, and then they pay the rest through Cherry. So I absolutely love that I added that, like, I think last year to my business, and that helped tremendously, because before that I didn't have a payment plan. You basically just pay your deposit, and as long as it was paid, by the time you would come, you would be good. But now people can literally like pay for the service, be done with that, get that service now, and pay it back. So hope that helps, Ramisha. If I think of that, I'm not going to think of it because I have to find the email, because I'm always looking, always trying to add and up my business. But when I find an email, I'm going to send it out. I'll try to do a little quick search because I forgot. When I was prepping this, I forgot to go back and look for that. You're welcome. Why does it keep going all the way back? Why I keep doing that? What am I pressing that's making it do that, to go all the way backwards? I must be pressing the wrong thing. Hold on.
Every day.
Almost wrapping up. Girl, no. This is the supply list. Most of these supplies, y'all, for camouflage tattoo, a lot of this stuff you can find on Amazon. It's basic stuff for the most part. All of this stuff is linked in my vendor list. And remember, y'all gonna get the replay so you can look through all of this, but most of this stuff, you can find a lot of this stuff on Amazon. Some of the things I don't buy from Amazon. I don't buy ink from Amazon. I don't buy needles from Amazon. I buy things like that from the actual vendor, meaning I buy my inks from the vendor, or I might buy them from an ink supplier, and all the ink supplier does, like a tattoo supplier. They order inks. They have inks. They have that. I use like one company that I will buy my inks from outside of the main site, but most of the time I buy my inks from the company, meaning like, you know how you go to the beauty supply store, I won't buy it from the beauty supply store, I will buy it from the hair company. I buy my inks from the ink vendors themselves, the people who created the inks I use. I buy the inks from them, and I buy my needles from the needle company for the most part. Every now and then I have like a couple of vendors that I'll use that are like tattoo suppliers. If they run a special one of needles, I might buy them from them. But a lot of the times the companies themselves will be running, if you're on their email list, they run specials all the time, and I buy them when they're on sale. So that's my thing on that. But all of this is kind of like very generic stuff. Multiple means of income. What can you additionally offer to the market? How are you different from everybody else in offering this service? This is mostly will come from branding. So for me, my thing is I have a medical background. So a lot of times clients will feel more comfortable. Do you have any grants funny you can point us to? Girl, no. What I would tell you to do is not off the top of my head. I'm so flattered that you asked me that, but I'm thinking about, let me know if this is something y'all are interested in. Well, this is what I would say. That business class that I got into literally is how I get plugged into all kind of grants that come through. So whenever I find out about grants, I'll see them because I'm on a bunch of different kind of forums and just get involved. But I know that's easier said than done. So what I may do is do like a small little subscription to a subscription. It may be, I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna do it. I kind of thought about this, but I'm gonna put this down. Let me know if this is something y'all are interested in. Like whenever grants come through, I could do a blast and send it to. So I might just do a grant subscription list, and it might be something like some low $10-15 a month, but it would be something like a newsletter basically. And whenever I would get grants that come my way, because sometimes that would be helpful. Somebody y'all like that, it got to be worthwhile for me to do it, because I would have to manage this, and this will be a whole nother project for me to do. But I may do something like that because I try to get in on all the free stuff. That's why I ain't mad that y'all here on this free stuff. But I try to get on all of the things to see what's out there, because I don't have a business background. I came from medicine. Like I worked at a hospital. We had a secretary that all of this stuff that I'm teaching y'all to do, somebody did this for us. I never had to manage my own license, and I didn't even know when it expired, because the hospital has a whole credentialing team that keeps up when everybody's license expires, and they literally email you like 6 months before your license expires, say, hey boo, your license about to expire, you need to go and make sure you did da 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 da. So I didn't have to do a whole lot of stuff. So me having a successful business has been me figuring this shit out myself and being like, oh, where did you get that from? Oh, how did you do that? So all that to say is I take classes, I get involved. I had a business coach here in Atlanta, and he sends me stuff all the time still. And so what I may do, but it's a lot. And of course, sometimes it may be like, they'll just send stuff and it won't even be for me. It'll be like Oregon, Florida, da, 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 da. Georgia won't be in it, and so I can't apply. Or it'll be like, oh, you need to be doing this or doing that, or just, various different things. And the way the grants work, baby, it's not like I wouldn't tell you because I'm gonna think you gonna get it, because usually it's a whole lot of people they're trying to get the money to. Or like they had a grant last year that was, I applied for it, but my area code didn't fit. It was the zip code right next to me, but the one that I was in didn't count. Little bullshit like that. So if that's something y'all are interested in, I will do that. I'll start that out. We'll give that something. I'll make that a goal to work on that next month if y'all serious, but I'll do a little thing and see if y'all are serious. Tell me real quick, what kind of stuff would y'all want to be in it? Like, it just need to be real simple. It's like a grant. Yeah, okay. I don't have none off the top of my list. Off the top of my head, but that is very helpful. The grant that I got was from the city of Atlanta, and and I found out about that from one of my friends. She had got it the year before. She was just talking about like, you didn't get that grant? I'm like, no, I didn't get that grant. I didn't even know that grant damn existed. And literally I went looking this is the thing, remember I told y'all I read that book, Big Magic. Whenever something sparks my interest, I call them pings. That's what I call them. I won't physically hear a ping, but now I get them so often that I'll take onto that. So like how y'all just said, I don't know how to say your name, friend. Is it really Adacita? Am I saying it right? 80. Okay. Is it 80 or Adi? It's okay, girl. Is it ID or ID with the ID, like eyeball, ID? Unmute yourself so I can know how to say your name.
ID.
ID. Where are you from, ID?
Originally Alaska, but I live in Vegas.
Alaska?
Yes.
You from Alaska?
Yes.
What's your ethnicity?
I'm Dominican and Cuban.
What?
Yeah.
Girl, I am so intrigued. This is fucking me up. Why did you come on here and say this? How, like, because now I done got all I'm target. I'm gonna get back on target, y'all. I promise. I just gotta ask her this. Who went to Alaska? Dominican and Cuban. They escaped from Cuba and went to Alaska.
My dad and my mom met in Boston, and my dad brought them over there. Yeah.
What was in
It's a
Alaska? Is
long
he in the
story.
military?
No, he just liked fishing and he had a business going really well over there.
Damn.
Yeah.
So where do you live
It was a
now?
big thing. I live in Vegas right now. I'm actually doing an apprenticeship for the license, but I'm not really sure where I'm going with it just yet.
Mhm. Well, good for you. Okay, we'll get off of you. I'm excited for you. I love that. Oh, I love that. Alaska. Never met an Alaskan before. That's so dope. Okay. I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, back to Brandon. How are you going to differentiate yourself from the service? I don't know what I was saying before that. If somebody remembers what I was saying, help me out. But I done got distracted with the Alaska shit. Where's the title of that magic book called? It's called Big Magic. That's the name of the book, Big Magic. It's by the woman who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, Big Magic. So, oh, I know what I was saying. I said, just like how ID asked, like, ID, I said it right. Just how ID asked, like, hey, can you point us in a direction for grants? And I'm like, maybe I could do like a grant newsletter that would be a subscription. And it was going to have to be a subscription because it's going to have to be something that I'm going to have to maintain. I got to be rewarded for doing this extra work for y'all. But it'll be something low cost because it's not gonna be something crazy. It'll probably be like, I would literally make like an email and you pay like a $5-10 subscription a month. I'm trying to figure out how much I would charge it, but this is a whole nother little project. But to do something like that, to send that out to y'all so y'all can have access to it, I consider that big magic because I probably thought of something like this before. When I was looking for it, like, damn, I wish I could just figure out some, I probably thought of this. And then I probably thought to do it. And a lot of times I'll get, because I'm like that too. A lot of times I'm like one of people like, well, who's going to be interested in this? Because of course, this is more work for me to have to do something like this. And I'm like, who's more interested in this? Who would this benefit? Da, 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 da. So now somebody said they wanted it. And like 5 of y'all was like, ooh, that'll be helpful. That I will call that as like big magic. Like, here go an idea. Now, if I let this go and get off this webinar and don't put into action, you know what's gonna happen? My ass gonna be on Instagram and I'm gonna see some little Instagram girl and she literally gonna be like, join my subscription to my da-da-da. Well, I will send you a monthly email about all of the grants that I get coming my way. And I'm gonna be sitting here like, damn, but I don't do that. I don't play those games with myself because I follow my intuition. I follow my guide. I follow all the gifts that the universe puts out ahead of me and I follow them. So all y'all who said that, I'm gonna be doing a follow-up thing to be asking y'all what kind of stuff y'all are looking for, what you want to be on there, and how that can help. So back to this. Multiple means of income, products, what kind of products you can have, all kinds of products, tattoo related products, merchandise, shirts, bag, makeup, beauty products. I don't have none of that. I have my services. I have digital products. I don't have my own thing. I do aspire, I didn't say this before, to have a ink line. So that's my big, it ain't even real big because I don't even think that's the biggest of what my mind can get to. But I want my own ink line because I mix different inks and I want to have my own line of ink. So putting that in the universe. But that's one of my goals of something to do. So I have my own camouflage tattoo line. And it'll be the way I want it. Instead of me kind of like piecing together what I do, it'll be a straight line. You won't have to go outside of the line that I have to mix your color. So that's my goal. But you could teach, you could speak, you can have brand deals and partnerships, you can have multiple locations. The opportunities are limitless. You just have to start, my friends, okay? You just have to start. Marketing, make sure your page is on, make sure you have a Google business page. Make sure you register on Yelp. In the vendor list, I walk you through how to set up your Google business page. It's a whole video process through all of that. Make sure you're on social media platforms. And I say all of that because before I started the business, I never knew that there was a process to get your business listed on Google. I don't know what I thought. I didn't think about it because it didn't matter to me. But y'all all found me from Instagram, probably, it averages every month because I take data on everything, but 50 to 75% of my clients find me from Google. They be Googling camouflage tattoo because I asked them, what were you Googling? How did you find me? People be like, oh, I was looking for scar treatment. I was looking for stretch mark removal. I was looking for this. They find me from Google. So if you have and they're like, oh, I saw something like this somewhere else and I put in Atlanta and your page popped up. You want your business on Google, trust me. Register on Yelp. Yelp does a lot of ads, and Yelp's the way their process works is they're supposed to help you get more services. I tried Yelp out for like 3 months. They were getting me a whole bunch of brow clients, and I don't offer brow, so I don't really be on Yelp. But one of my clients recommended me to register on Yelp because people can write reviews on Yelp. And if whenever I go out of town and stuff, I always like put it in Yelp. So I get on all the things. Social media platforms, IG, TikTok, Pinterest. Pinterest is booming, blowing up. I went to a conference last year. They trying to make Pinterest like kind of like YouTube, how things are evergreen, meaning like, how you could watch a video on YouTube from years ago. Pinterest is trying to make their platform like that. They are starting to pay content creators. So the thing is to get into this stuff before you don't feel like it's old, right? When they are rolling out new stuff, that's the time to get in. So IG, TikTok, Pinterest is doing this. YouTube is always a vibe. LinkedIn, you have clients on LinkedIn, big companies on LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever the hell Elon is doing over there. I don't know. I'm not on Twitter, but not like that. But all of these are different platforms for you to promote yourself. And then Threads, since Threads is first starting up. I don't even know y'all really still on Threads like that. I didn't get on Threads because I don't need to be on the next. I don't need to be on that. But I know it was hot for a good 2 weeks. But all of these are just ways for you to get your name out there without having to actually do anything. And I always go with the things low cost first until you grow, because I'm a real type girl. Right. So while all of those things are new, and I've been predicting they was going to start charging for goddamn Instagram. And here we are charging for the blue check, charging for you to legitimize your business. And I haven't gotten there yet, but I'm going to have to do it so I can get off of the shadow ban list. And then take tons of models. Models are basically free marketing. So don't think of it as you gave your service away. Think of it as it was an exchange for them to promote your business and for you to get access to more clients. And it also helps you practice, and you'll get faster, you'll get better, you'll learn all kinds of things more easier with your models. So think of the models as a good thing. One of my tips is to learn, take models for free. So Shan, we could go back and forth about that. I require my models. I don't do nothing for free. I don't necessarily do nothing for free, but I add a caveat to it. So with my models, they get a significant discount with my services. I told y'all the camouflage service. So one thing I'll do is I will do a model and I will tell them how much the service will cost, but my model fees are I think they're like $850 now. They used to be $650. It just depends. I think they $850, and then it depends on how bad I need my model. I think I did one for $650 not too long ago. But usually they were the price of the deposit. So the deposit was $650, so the model fee was $650. That included 2 sessions, and in exchange, the model had to write me a review. You're gonna be filmed. You're gonna be doing pictures, or it's gonna be da da da. But I don't do it for free because I just personally don't think people value free. Whenever I used to try to take free models, they would cancel. They would not show up, all of this shaky shit. When people pay you, they are invested in it in some kind of way. So I don't do it for free, but you could do it for a low fee. You could do like I've seen people do like $50 and they say that's how much their supplies is. You're gonna pay for the supplies. You know what I mean? For me, it's like 2 services. So that's a lot for a model because it's not a one-time thing. But that is how I do a model. I put like a thing on the back end. And then if they don't write the review, if they don't, I used to do models like, I don't do anything for free. I used to do with my models, I would say like, you have to take a photo every day for like a week so people can see this type of stuff. Like you could put stuff in there so it's necessarily not free. And so you do gain something from it. That's how I do it. There's a girl that I took a course with. She's big into using models, and she uses them for all kinds of things. And she literally says like that was one of the ways she grew her business, because you have so much content. So I think she attaches to her model. They have to make a reel, or like, it don't have to necessarily be nothing, but it's like, you got to make a little video showing me blah, 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 or showing this, or, those type of things. But I do that with mine. My models have to write a review, and they have to send me pictures, and if they don't write the review or send the pictures, or just, they have to be comfortable with whatever we're doing, like that filming that day. And that helps, because let's say if you got a model, you don't have to be pressured about how long you're going to take. You can take as many photos as you want. You can take photos from different angles, versus I don't do that with all of my clients. Sometimes a lot of my clients fly in, so we on a time constraint. I don't have time to be taking a whole bunch of pictures and be trying to get the pictures right, because they got to catch their flight to go back home. Or depending on, who it is, sometimes everybody's not comfortable. People be really going crazy about their arms or their shoulders. They be thinking y'all gonna recognize their arm and their shoulder, or their booty cheek, or their knee from all the billions of people on the internet. So sometimes people just aren't comfortable, but that's the beauty of getting a model, because you get all of that. So that's my caveat to models. I would definitely say use them though, because they will help, because on the days you don't have any content, you got them pictures, and you can just get so many pictures, so many angles from models that somebody who's not a model won't give you that access to. But learn everything you can about marketing. I had a girl that literally last year, I went to this PMU conference last year, and I made these workbooks to sell, right? I was just selling my workbooks because I wanted people to have an idea of what was offered in the class. And so I sold the workbooks for the class. I planned to sell the workbooks for the class. I lost the workbooks at the conference, y'all. Lost the damn workbooks. Found them like an hour before the conference was over. I gave 2 of them away, and the rest I sold online, because I didn't have time to sell them, because I lost them the whole damn time. And so I sold them online, and she bought one, and she was like, she said I was the 4th person she took for camouflage, and she literally said, just in your workbook, she didn't even take the class, y'all. She just took the workbook, and she was like, there's more information in this workbook that I've gotten in all 3 of my classes. And she said, I wish I would have took your class first. And I asked her, I said, why didn't you take the class with me first? Because you took 3 other classes that you all think are trash. And because she wrote me this big long ass paragraph, and she said, I think it's because your videos didn't look as nice as everybody else's. What? So that was a lesson. Marketing is everything. People begin finessing these streets because of marketing. So literally she spent all this extra money, and she paid, I think I sold that workbook for maybe $50. She paid $50 for the damn workbook, not even a class. And she had spent thousands of dollars on the 3 classes, but she literally missed out on taking a class with me from the beginning. That would have saved her all this money, all this time, and gained her all this knowledge, because she wasn't impressed with my marketing. So I stepped it up a notch. So just all that to say, when your marketing is up, people will buy shit from you, and it can be trash. I don't want your stuff to be trash, but just learn everything you can about marketing. That is literally the difference between you and the next person. You could be as good as you want to be, but if don't nobody know who you are, if they don't know you exist, none of that matters, and you will be broke. So invest in learning about marketing, not just letting somebody do it for you. You want to know how to do it. So it's almost like AI. AI is good, but you got to know what to put into AI for it to spit out all of the great stuff, right? That's that. Social proof. Social proof is everything. That is like your reviews, your photos, what people say, the questions, the comments. That is all the stuff that's going to keep the content machine going. And that is literally how people buy in. All those people, the reason why I'm on Google, the reason why I'm on Google, and the reason why I talk about getting on Google is because people read the reviews. You know how on Amazon, I don't buy shit off of Amazon without reading every review. It's people who literally were like, I watched you, I believed in this, I saw your photos, but I read your review. Somebody came in and said, she came in and was like, soon as she got in, she was like, what song is this? She asked me, like, soon as we started going, about what song I was playing, and I told her what it was. And then she was like, what playlist is this? I was like, oh, this is my own playlist. She was like, they said you had a good playlist on in your Google reviews. I didn't even know that. I was like, what? She said, yeah, somebody said you had a good, she said a couple of people mentioned you had a good playlist. So I knew when I knew it was gonna be good when the music came in. She was like, I knew the music was gonna be good when I came in. I thought that was funny, but that's the kind of stuff that people want to know. That, like, if I just walk in here and be like, I got a great playlist, you're gonna be like, okay, girl. But if the reviews say that people are already coming in, she already came in like, I knew the music was gonna be jamming when I got in here because they said your playlist was fire on Google. So those things matter. Social proof is everything. And then finally, if you are not a current entrepreneur and this is something you want to get into, you have to get comfortable with selling. If you are not comfortable with selling, promoting, marketing, that's all marketing is, that's all advertising is. If you're not comfortable with that, invest in classes. You have to switch your mindset, read a lot of mindset books, read a lot of business books. That is going to get you over the hump, and that's going to make you be more successful. Certifications, consider the cost of class versus the investment in your business. A typical good permanent makeup class, a good tattoo class is going to cost you anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000 or more. Anything less than that is probably some bullshit. Somebody told me that they bought a class off of Facebook that was like $35 and it was in Portuguese. Baby, how that's going to help you if you speak English? That's when I was $35. Hello. Just be wary of that. If you take and at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. So if every time I buy some, I'm just telling you, every time I buy some and it's like super cheap, and I'm like, oh, wow. And it sounds so good. And then I get it. I like pay maybe, I don't know, $37 for it. It'll be a PDF of like 7 things. And like 3 of the things on there I already knew. I always laugh at myself because I knew that. I knew they was not going to be giving me the gym for less than $50. That's not how that works. That don't even make sense. So if you think that the cost is too much, you have to remember it's an investment, not a price. Okay. Consider your learning style for classes, group versus private. I don't like group classes myself because I'm a bougie bitch and I like for the teacher to know my name and I want her to talk to me and I want her to answer my questions and I want her to look me in my eyes. I like being treated like VIP. So I like paying for that kind of service. That's just me. The last group class I went to, it was like 10 of us in the class and the teacher taught for a little bit and she did her little thing, but she mostly had her assistants coming through and every assistant said something different from the teacher. So it was like literally going to learn a skill and they showed it 4 different ways. And that's cool if I knew how to do it. I'm like, what's the way? Because I'm one of the people like, show me how you do it. I want to do it just like you. And then when I get good, then I can switch it up. But I ain't doing it right. So I'm trying to learn how you do it because I like the way you do your stuff. And literally it was 4 different people showing it. And I felt like I didn't learn shit. No more group classes for me, right? Not no big group classes. I'll do a small group, not a big group. And then consider other artists in your area and how you will make your business unique. Why would they pick you over the competition? So please don't ever be intimidated that somebody else in your city is offering a service. Like people be asking me like, oh, you teach a class, it's another girl in Atlanta to do that. Yeah, girl, first of all, I can't do everybody in Atlanta. Atlanta is a big ass city. Secondly, have you ever been to the hair salon? Is there one hairstylist in the hair salon? You ever been to the barbershop? Is it one barber in the barbershop? They all cut hair, they all do hair, they all do it differently. Me and the girl next door are not the same person. I got a good playlist, she don't. Like that's gonna make us different. That's literally the thing that makes people want to come to you versus the other person. People be finding me on the internet and they be saying stuff like, I saw you and you had locks and I knew you was gonna. They come to me because my hair is locked. I don't do locks. I don't even do lock styles on the internet. I don't do my hair myself, none of that shit. And people come to me because I got locks. Don't worry about that. Just remember what makes you different and go with that. I think I'm silly. I think I'm kind of funny. So I talk about those things and that makes people, come on the wave. And so remember that and don't get intimidated by somebody else doing the same thing because it's way, 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 way more than enough. Okay. But just remember, why would somebody pick you over the competition? And if the competition is doing good, what can you do to differentiate yourself from them? Just so people can find you if they're looking for them. You know what I mean? That's all you got to do. And we're almost done. We're wrapping up, y'all. Insider tip, find a teacher that fits your goals and your needs, meaning consider the teacher, their demographics, their experience. Please do not take a class from somebody who just started doing a service. When I first started teaching, people was asking me to take a class. I literally got on Instagram and people like 2 weeks later was like, do you teach? Girl, no, I just started this. If you learn from somebody who just learned something, they are only going to teach you what they learned in the class. You'll do better off from taking the class with that person. And also think about the teacher, the type of clients they have. I have people who take a class with Samantha, and Samantha's clients don't look anything like your clients. So if you learn Samantha's technique and you trying to relate it to your clients, maybe you are that girl that can switch it up and apply what you need. But if you took that class hoping that you were going to learn how to do that service on your clients and your clients don't look anything like Samantha's clients, you can't get mad because Samantha didn't teach you that, because Samantha don't know how to do what you asking her to do. So y'all can read between the lines what I'm saying. That's what you need to keep in mind. Also ask about the materials involved in class and if they offer any support. That's important. You want to know what you're getting into. And like I said before, you get what you pay for. Don't get fooled by marketing. It's some people out here who literally learned how to do something yesterday and they got good finesse game. And so they hyping you up. Make sure you read between the lines and make sure you actually know what you're learning, what you're going to be learning. Make sure it's something worthwhile. Make sure you get what you pay for. That's all I would say. Tattoo insurance, protect your investment in business with tattoo insurance. Shop around and see what's available. It's 2 vendors in the vendor list. So somebody asked me about tattoo insurance. That's included in the vendor list. Woo, okay, that was a lot. I know that was a lot, but you got this, right? So big tips is do your research. A lot of the requirements are duplicate, like you'll need a CPR, first aid, bloodborne pathogen to get a permit, a tattoo permit. You'll also need that for the Board of Health. It's the same thing. They just ask for it twice. Where is the vendor list and how much is it? All them QR codes, friend, all those QR codes, if you put it up, I'll go back. That's the QR code for the vendor list. Put your phone up to the screen and scan the code. Put your phone up to the screen like this and it'll come up and then you just click on it. That's the vendor list. If you cannot find a vendor list, cool. If you cannot find a vendor list, if you don't want to do that right now, if you're thinking about it, if you are a girl that's on the fence, it's on my website under the products on the product page. So I just put the QR code so you can go straight to it. If you don't buy it now, if you replay, this is going to be on the replay. If you need time to think about it, ask your boyfriend, ask whoever you got to ask to, when you make your purchases, it's on the product page on my website. So I told y'all the key to success is to start before you are ready. That's so true. I read this book. It's called The Artist's Way. You may have heard of it before. I'm a big reader. It says leap and the nets will appear. And that sounds so scary, but that's literally what you have to do. You have to start before you are ready. Big Magic talked about that. And I talked about that with my friends. And I think, especially as women, especially as a woman of color, we come into it. I know I'm speaking for myself, but I come into it, but a lot of my friends have said the same thing. We come into this thinking we have to have like all of the things, like if it requires you to have this, and this, we want all 4. When the people who win, you know what they be having? They be having a passion. They don't even be having none of the shit. Or they may have one thing, even though they know you're supposed to have all 4, they start with the one thing and then they work on the next thing and then the next thing and then the next thing. Okay. I'm doing this like y'all can see like y'all can see me. Y'all can't see me. I'm doing this like y'all can see me, but you have to start before you are ready. If you wait until you're ready, some shit gonna happen, life gonna happen, you're gonna look up, 5 years gonna go by and you're gonna be done missed your bus. Do not do that. Jump in since you're sitting on this webinar, get in while your mind is on that. This is your startup checklist. These are all the things you need: your license, your permit, your business license. I basically went through everything I mentioned in here. I think I'm gonna send this to y'all tomorrow. Do y'all want me to send this all to y'all? I mean, it's gonna be on the webinar, but do y'all want me to send this to y'all like an actual checklist? No, Adi, you don't have to have everything at once. Literally, you can start and do things in steps. The whole point of me doing this is so you have a concept. This is like the checklist. And some of this stuff you can do right now without having to do anything. Like you can open a business account. You can get a payment processor. You can start researching website schedule. You can do all of that stuff before doing the hard stuff. You know what I mean? But this is like a checklist. You can get your vaccine, you can get your vaccines, you can do so many things without having to do the big stuff, but you can be doing all of these things along the way. So one person said the checklist. If the rest of y'all don't want the checklist, I ain't gonna do it for the one person. But I think I said I was gonna send a checklist. So if y'all want a checklist, I'm gonna add that to my list. I can send y'all a checklist. Yes. Okay, vote for checklist. Put a check if you want a checklist. It's a whole bunch of y'all on here. I'm gonna need 6 yeses. So I have 2 yeses, 3, 4, 5, going once, going twice. Okay, 6. Was that 6 different people? Okay. Y'all want a checklist. I'll send y'all a checklist. This will be tomorrow. So this will probably be in the afternoon when y'all get this. Okay, I'm gonna do a checklist. I'll send this all on a checklist. Okay. 1. So look, y'all jumping ahead. I'm saying it again. You got this because I know what this is like. And let me just tell y'all this. I didn't have a checklist, y'all. I did this. I created this course a year later because I was getting like 50 fucking emails a month. People being like, what do you need to do to get started? And I was like, I can't type this up to everybody, right? And even if you tell people to answer, they still ask you questions afterwards, right? So that was not working. So I taught this in a class. And I've even condensed this class. My assistant told me, she told me this 2 days ago. She was like, it's way better the way you have it now than when you did it at first. It was way longer. And it was like, I succinct it down, right? Okay, so your girl, I made it better. But the checklist that I'm gonna give y'all, I didn't have that. I literally figured this out along the way. Like got to the next point, it was like, oh, I literally had signed a lease, had got a space, had got supplies, and the people that I leased from was like, you need a license for the city of Atlanta. And I was like, no, I have a business license. They were like, no, you need one for the city. I didn't even know that. Had to stop what I was doing, go back, get licensed in the city. You know what I mean? Like all of these things, I didn't know this. So I'm saying all of that for you to understand 2 things. 1, I'm so glad you came to this class because now you have what you need. My friend who asked that in the beginning, who said she want to know because she want to get into it, now you have what you need. 2, I've already done the hard work because it's all composed in one place. You're not going to find this nowhere because ain't nobody doing this for you. But I am, because I remember what that was like. And it took me so long to try to figure out what the fuck you all needed to do this. And it's not even complicated. It's just not in one place. I literally pieced this together as I went on. 3, saying all that to say that if I could do it with having no knowledge of what was required coming into it, and I'm here 3 years later, still standing, still strong, I think I'm killing it. You can too. You already got a leg up. So don't talk yourself out of it. Don't get overwhelmed. It seems like a lot. It is a lot of small things. It's not a bunch of big stuff. And it's definitely doable. Is it going to take time? Yes. Is it going to take your energy? Yes. Is it going to take a sacrifice? Yes. But is it impossible? Absolutely not. And sacrifice does not mean you got to sell your soul to the devil and no shit like that. Sacrifice just means it's on a Sunday, y'all sitting in a webinar with me when we could all be outside having drinks on a patio. But at the end of the day, the next Sunday, you could go back and do that, right? You know what I mean? So, and the things that you sacrifice are temporary and they are only to get to what the next thing you want. So it's like, if you give somebody your pen, baby, they're going to give you a marker. You know what I mean? You're gonna get somebody, you're gonna sacrifice pencils and then you're gonna end up getting a MacBook. Like, you got to think of it like that. Like that's kind of how it goes. Okay. So we are almost at the end. Let me go to the next thing. Products you need. So again, here is the code for the vendor list. It's $49.99. It includes the tattoo insurance, the tattoo laws, the CPR, first aid, bloodborne pathogen stuff, my suppliers, the ink vendors. It's some other stuff in there. It's like a couple of pages long. All the links are in there. That Visita link is in there if you looking into Visita, maybe not for now, but maybe for in the future. All of those things are in there. So all the stuff I use, one-stop shop. $49.99. Them girls that be selling them vendors, if y'all done never bought a vendor list for somebody else, they usually don't be this cheap. So just saying that. Saving you time and money because I done did the hard work. This is my IG growth book. Some of y'all know, some of y'all don't. I grew my Instagram by 30,000 followers I think it was 2022. That was my focus for the year. I got all the way serious about it. And then because it took off and went crazy, that's not been my focus for this year. But it took off and went crazy. And I created an Instagram growth book, and literally like I did that book. And I got so many good reviews from that book. Like I almost was like, oh, I feel like I could do this all the time, but I haven't gotten inspired to go back and do the next thing. But it's a quick read. If you're not a reader, I thought about doing it digitally and maybe filming it, but I think it was so good because it was so sincere and I wrote it in like 2 days. Everybody who's read that book has been like, the light bulb finally went off. So if you are trying to figure out how the algorithm works, I broke it all the way down, and it's an easy read. Okay, so that is that code. If you don't want to do this all now, all of that information is on the website under the products page. So this is the products page. It's a whole bunch of other different products there. If you've never been, that's on my website. You can take a picture and do this later, go to it, but that's where all the products are. Why do I keep going back to the same one? What am I pressing? My bad. Okay, catching up, wrapping up. Next. Is this where I was? Oh, I didn't say this. I want to say this. This is something that I read. It's a manifestations code. Basically, thoughts, whatever you think, become feelings turn into action, and actions get results. Train before us some further growth learning. Yeah, Addie, I'm finna get to you. This was so dope, girl. I can't wait to be able to take your class. Thank you, Shan. Thank you. Yes, I'm about to get to it, Addie. But this is basically the code to how to manifest anything. Basically, if you think of something, and I'm gonna say this because sometimes I know sometimes people don't do this. Y'all be afraid of what comes your way, and that's not the way you're supposed to do it. Like if you are in this webinar, that's because you have a desire to do more, be more, do different, do new, have more freedom, have more success, have more money, have more autonomy, have more accomplishments. You want to make an impact. If you are here, that's because you have that desire somewhere. Then miraculously, I decided to do a class. Wow, look at how God answers prayers. Not only did I do a class, but I made this shit for free. I used to teach this class for $297, $300, and y'all are getting it for free, right? That is how that works. You thought about something and then you felt so inspired by it, and then you signed up for the class, and the next step, you got all the way here, thoughts, you wanted to be here, you showed up, you signed up for the class, you got to the webinar. The next thing you have to do is action behind that to get the results, okay? So set a budget, do your research, set a goal, set a date, and don't make any excuses. Life is going to happen. Life is happening to us all. Life is happening to me. I still am showing up. I still push through. I still fight back. I still figure it out. I still be like, well, damn, I have my little moment. I sit in the corner, I cry, and then I get my ass back up and go to it, because you know what's not crowded? The top. You know what is the bottom. So you just decide if you want to be at the bottom or if you want to be at the top. And you will see that as you go to the top, it gets less crowded because people don't want to do the work. But that's going to be the difference between you and them. Okay? Okay. Oh, I don't know what I'm hitting, y'all. I'm so sorry that it keeps rewinding. I have no idea what I'm hitting because I don't have my screen all the way up. So my bad for that. So let's
this right here, right? You don't even really know what you know.
Hold on, it's so funny. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to go to my YouTube page, but I'm gonna get better at doing these. This is my thing I'm focusing on. So remember I said the last year it was Instagram. Now I'm focusing on YouTube because ain't nobody like me on YouTube. So I'm trying to get on YouTube and really like get out here, but I don't know how to do all of this stuff. I learn as I go. So that you will watch me grow, but I'll be giving out little tips. Go back and watch this video on YouTube. It's some free gems in this video, but I'm gonna give y'all a little preview of it. Go back and watch this video if you want to.
This right here, right? You don't even really know what you know. You winging it at this point. Get you at least 5 because 3 of them are probably gonna be flaky. Tell everybody. You gotta start like telling everybody that you offering a service anyway.
I was saying get you at least 5 models because 3 of them gonna be flaky. That's some tea. But follow me on YouTube, watch this video. It's like what you need to take before you start off or something like that. But it's like the things that I always tell people before they take my class, watch this video because it's gonna be some tips to help you how to make the best, how to make sure that you capitalize on your investment. So we're gonna wrap up and talk about my courses. And yes, Adi, to your question, my courses, I do teach courses for those who have been trained before or you need some further growth learning. I don't do no add-on. You got to take the same course that everybody takes, meaning, all of this is art. So even if you learned it from somebody else, I don't know what they taught you. I don't know if they did it right. I don't know. It's all technique. It's literally like, this is the way I do it. Somebody else could do it very differently from me and have great results. And then I'm trying to teach you on top of what they learned. So it's not like a thing that you're going to have to build on it, but I don't do a discount course for people who already took it because y'all be coming to me not knowing shit. So you got to learn it all over again from me, the way I do it. And then you can Mod Podge it all together. But I think it's going to be worthwhile. This is what's offered in my courses. So I teach 3 courses. I teach the same information in all the courses. It's just how much the teaching style, the teaching technique, your schedule, your flexibility, the type of learning you like to take, but this is what's covered in all of the courses. So it's one course 3 ways. So the keys to results, myths about camouflage, skin anatomy and stretch marks 101, color science and color theory, my favorite pigments, needle properties, shading techniques, tips on blending colors, my tips to improve outcomes, and you get 6 months of support. That's included in every single class, that information, and so much more. But that's the basic things that are included in the class. And if you read any of those things, like if you took a class and they didn't tell you nothing about needle properties, you probably know how to use one needle and you only gonna know how to do one thing. I teach you how to use the needle because remember, I'm teaching this from as a critical thinker. I don't teach people just to repeat. I teach you for you to grow and be your own artist and for you to challenge and expand what you have and for you to go way more bigger beyond what I taught you. But if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, that's probably why you don't know what you're doing. So that's the difference between my class and those are the things that's covered in every single class, right? This is how the training goes in my virtual and in-person classes. It's a 2-day course. I'm gonna let this video play. Not somebody trying to come in at the last minute, girl. We got to wrap up, friend. It's a replay, Hillary, so you can just kind of come in and get in the last part, but
Probably a good 50, 60 color swatches to start.
basically what this video was this is how many color swatches she left with class. So day 1 is all fundamentals in color theory. And the classes are 50% interactive. That is the virtual and the in-person classes. I teach them the same way. The in-person class, you get more stuff and you get to see me do a live demo versus the virtual class, you're watching videos of it, but you get the same amount of information and we focus on the techniques and the things the same amount of time. The in-person class has a little bit more information and it's a little bit more faster paced because I'm covering so much to make up for the time in the demo, and the virtual class doesn't include that part, so it's a little bit slowed down. I can't believe I lost track of time. It's okay, girl. It's okay. You can go back and watch the replay. But this is what she left with. So this is day 1 in the afternoon. We spend the entire afternoon for you blending colors. So people come into it super anxious about this part. And then look at how much shit she left with. She had a whole range of the color scale.
All of these extra colors that she
And this is what you go home with. So you know how to make a color for everybody under the rainbow.
She is leaving with over probably a good 50, 60 color swatches to start.
Okay. So that's day 1 and day 2. The starter kit it includes the tattoo machine and needles for the in-person class. The virtual class, you are responsible for your own tattoo machine and your own needles. But the in-person classes, do you have to work in a shop? Friend, you're gonna have to go back and look at the video because we done covered some of them questions. Do you have to work? I don't know what you asked me. Do you have to work in a shop to blah, 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 blah? You're gonna have to watch the whole video, Hillary, because we didn't answer some of the questions. Do you have to, I don't know what you asked me. Do you have to work in a shop for what? You get the, yeah, it's okay. You'll get the tattoo machine and needles. That's for the in-person class. You'll get client intake forms, class certificates, practice scan. My training manual is 75 pages. It's like a fucking book. You get access to the online masterclass, you get 6 months of support, and you get the full camouflage pigment set. So the difference for the virtual training is you're responsible for your own machine, your own needles. I send you the pigment set, and I send you everything you need to participate in the class, and you have to have your own, because a lot of times people who take the virtual class, they're already artists, so they don't need for me to provide them a machine, but this is what you would get for the full class. That's the difference. No, Ramisha, I don't do inkless and I don't do collagen induction therapy. I'm a tattoo artist. So usually collagen induction therapy is by like estheticians or dependent on, I only do tattoos. I don't do inkless camouflage because inkless camouflage is not tattoo. Tattoo, in order to be a tattoo artist, you have to be using ink. So that's a service that people who are not tattoo artists can offer. I only do tattoo. I personally don't think that inkless is as the outcomes and the results on the clients that I'm servicing has not been beneficial. Probably like 70% of all of my clients have tried inkless and it didn't work on them. I don't think inkless works for, I think inkless works for a certain demographic, and I don't really service that demographic. So, and to me, inkless requires more effort, is more trauma to the skin. You have to do more treatments, blah, 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 blah. So for me, I'm like, if you had to do 8 sessions of inkless versus 2 sessions of camouflage, it's better for the client's skin, and it's better for the client's bank account, and it's better for the client's self-esteem because you'll get results faster, quicker, with causing less trauma. So that's my take on inkless. With the in-person class, are there classes online that we need to review before we come to class? Nope, there's nothing for you to review. The only thing with the in-person class is you just need to have your bloodborne pathogen certificate. Nothing that you need to review before coming to class. Oh, this thing keep doing this, y'all. I am so sorry. I don't know what I keep doing. I must be pressing some little reset by mistake. But no, anybody else got any questions? This is the time to ask questions about class because we're about to wrap up. I'm almost at the end. Which one is for you? So here we go. If you're trying to figure out which class you need to take, the online course is $888. It requires 1 year of machine work, meaning can you take the class if you have no experience with tattoos? You absolutely can, but it may be a little high level because you might not even know the stuff I'm talking about. You know what I mean? It's designed for people who are already artists. So whoever asked me, do you offer classes for people who've already had taking classes for somebody else? That might be the class that you want to take because it's self-paced, it's online, you can take it at your leisure. You have 6 months access, you have 6 months access to me, and you can take the class and you could just compare it with what you already know. If you already took a class, you think you kind of know what you're doing, you just need a little bit more information, that's the perfect class for you. The difference is I'm not physically teaching the class. It's videos in there, it's tutorials in there, it's voiceovers in there, it's testimonials in there, it's quizzes in that course, but you don't get me here in front of you talking like we are now, right? But that is for somebody who already has experience. And sometimes I tell people, if you don't know if this is what you want to do, but you think this is something you might want to do, that's a low cost investment. You pay that $888, you go in there, read everything, and decide if this is something you want to do. I have had people who have taken class with me, just curious. And then literally when it was like came back and been like, I had one of my clients, she ended up being a model. She took my in-person class, y'all, the one down here for $5,000 and has never done anything with it. She just was intrigued by it. I'm flattered, but she just wanted to know if this was something she wanted to do. She went big. She took the big whammy class. It worked out for her. She did it. She's like, she thought it was cool. She practiced on her sister or something like that. She ended up being one of my models for later on for a service. So she was a model for another class that I taught. But yeah, I would have much rather, if it was me, instead of taking that $5,000 class, I would have took that $800 class and figured that out. Not the $5,000. You can email me questions if you take the online class. Yeah, you can definitely email me. You get 6 months of access to me too from the online course. So if you want to take the online course, you could just email me because I'll know you took the course. You know what I mean? Because you'll be asking questions specifically to the course. And then the virtual training is 2 days live via Zoom. It's 50% interactive. You can learn from home. A lot of times artists who have already taken classes with other people take that class because they just kind of need to know a little bit more. They're like, I didn't get everything I needed. I feel like it's so many questions I got. You don't necessarily need me to, you don't need to physically be here for me to teach me. You just need to learn how to do what I'm doing the way I'm doing it. And I will tell y'all, out of the virtual class, probably like half and half. Half of the people who take the virtual class are people who've never done tattoo before, and the other half are artists. All of my artists who take my virtual class do amazing. So don't think that you need to just take the in-person class because that's the better class. That's just for you, for the type of learning you are. Both of these classes are small. I don't ever take any more than 6 clients, 6 people in my classes. My largest in-person class has been 3 students. My largest virtual class was 5. I limited at 6. So it's very small, it's very intimate. And it just is tier on what all is included. And of course, there are payment plans. This is just some of my students, and both of these students took my virtual class with me. This is one of my students in California. She said, hey, Latoya, Happy New Year. I practiced on my sister. Just want to show you the results so far. It's still red after 2 days, but so much better. This was stretch mark. This was her work. This is a student testimony time. I said, what happened? She sent me, this was her first client. This was her before, this was the after, and she's still healing. And she sent it to me because she sent it to me. She sent me a video before of like what it looked like when she first did it. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so scared. And I was like, it's too soon, give it time, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, relax. That's not, camouflage is a little different from everything else. You're gonna always be scared. And then, so that's why she was saying testimony time. And as you can see, I mean, this was her first client. Both of these were their first clients and they're still healing. 2 days is still healing. This is not healed, but this is 2 days later, you can already see results. I think this was a month. That's still not healed. Do we have the option to do virtual training, then come back and get some in-person training? So if you do virtual training, I do have shadow days for students who have taken a course with me. Then come back and get some in-person training later. If you do the virtual course, you can just take a shadow day because that's all you would kind of need, a shadow day. So the online course is a breakdown on color theory. I have taken a class, but feel like I need better understanding on pivot matches for all fits 1 through 6. Yes, the same info is in all of the courses. The online course, that information is just online and I'm not talking, you're reading it on your own, but all the information is online. So it's the same information that I teach in my course, but the thing is, I don't know if you understand it because it's just there versus if you're teaching it in class, when I say something, you can ask me a question and I can clarify it. On the online course, you taking it on your own. There's no way for you to know if you got what I said. There's no way for me to know if you got. That's how online courses work, but all of that info is in there. If I have never taken a SCAR Camo class and I decided to take the 888, do you feel like I could probably learn it in that way? Of course, I would love to do the one-on-one, but I have to continue saving for that one. I'm just anxious that get into it now. Maybe I should wait till I'm one-on-one ready. Maybe that's going to be the question you're going to have to answer. I don't know. I told you, I would think that the reason why for the online courses, there's no way for you to ask real-time questions. You can ask me all the questions, email, but I'm not going to get on the phone with you and break all that down. You just going to ask me a question and I'm going to explain it, and then we're going to be going back and forth to see if you can understand it. So if you've never taken an online camouflage course and you really want to be good at it, if you're serious, I would probably say, wait till you can afford one of the other classes, or take that class and see. I can't make that statement for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's people who It's people who are self-taught from YouTube for shit. So I'm not gonna tell you that. I'm not a dream, I'm not a dream killer. You might, but I don't know. You know what I mean? You asking me if you're going to understand the information from the course. Baby, I don't know that. But I know if you was in my face, I could know if you understood it. What's the platform for payment plans for class? It's Sezzle. I'm in your area. If I'm not mistaken, all you need is the body crafter license, but right. So Hillary, you could do whatever you want at home. You know what I mean? If you're not charging people, you're not running a business at home. If you running a business, you cannot run your business from home. So yes, Hillary, that's just like if you're doing anything, you could practice on your family and friends. You're not charging, you're not saying you're offering this professionally, you're not considered a business at home. So you can take the class and practice on your family or friends because you're not saying you're a business. You can do that from home. You cannot have you can't be a tattoo artist that works from home because the city and the states and the county are not going to certify you from your house. Does that make sense? You can take the course from me, you'll have a certificate, but you won't be licensed to professionally do anything. All right. Selza, is there access to the website? Yep, it sure is. If you click on the products page, hold on. Tracy, give me 1 second. I'm gonna show you how to get there. This is just the lineup of, if you kind of understand, this is also on my page in training, fruit fly. If you go to the training page, this is there bigger for you to see, but basically this is what is involved in each class. So you can kind of go through it and see which class you think you need to take. These are the upcoming dates for class. The next virtual class is in a few weeks. August 17th, there's another one, August 26th and 27th. There's an Atlanta class at the end of the month and one at the end of September. Okay, so I'm going to.
Maria, you taking my online class.
Hold on. So these are my 2 offers I told y'all, and then we'll be done. These are my 2 offers. So the online course is normally $888. I'm going to give it $200 off for y'all for the next 48 hours. So if you purchase the online class for the next 48 hours, it is going to be $688. And again, what's included, 2 full tutorials with voiceovers, 2 client case studies with formulas, client testimonials, quizzes for 4 payments of $172, and you get instant access to the class. And you can ask me questions, all of that stuff. $688 for the next 48 hours. That's only offered for you guys that are on this webinar. So if you go to the product page, I'll go back if you need help, if you type it in, I'll go back to that. If anybody wants to take that course, and go ahead and buy it. If you go to the product page, when you click on a product, it'll tell you, sales will come up, you pop up if you want to take that option and buy it using the payment plan. It's only 4 payments of $172. And I think Shan, you asked that, if you're thinking about it, that is the way I would do it. If you think you really want to get started, you can be working on everything that I told you that you need to work on if you already have all of that stuff covered, and then you can take the online course and see if you get what you need, and then you will know if you need more. You know what I mean? If you think you're ready and you don't have what you need to take one of the virtual or in-person classes. That's the first offer I'm gonna give. So y'all want me to, anybody is interested in that, I'll go back to that product screen so you can pull it up and it'll take you right to that page. If not, if you go to scaralchemy.com/products, put that in, it will send you to the page, and that is where you can access the online course. Outside of this, it's normally $888. So that is offer number 1. I'm gonna play this video. This is one of my students who took my online course. This was a live I was doing, and she hopped on my live. So let's see what she had to say. It's for any of y'all who are just kind of curious.
Maria, you taking my online class, so why don't you give the people an idea of, your thought about what the online course is all about?
I was so intrigued by it that I was like, okay, hold on a second. She's just giving me too many things out there, too many gems. I have to tell you guys one thing. In all seriousness, I've taken a couple of classes with camouflaging. What I love about your course is that you just like straight to the chase. There's no bullshitting. There's no sugarcoating. I'm being honest with you. Like, you give the recipes. Like, you're not holding anything back. Like, there's other classes that they'll give you some ideas. Like, they'll give you 2 color choices. No, girlfriend. You're just like breaking it down to like it's stupid proof. Like there's no way you can walk away from taking your online and this is an online class. You don't get this information on online class. Like some people just give you a little bit of something, like a little tease, so that way you can take in-person class. Let me tell you something, Mamacita. You gave it all. Like you didn't hold anything back. So no, thank you.
There you go. So that was what Maria thought. That's just from the online course. So that's exclusive offer number one. The second offer that I'm offering is my mentorship program. This is my Black Friday mentorship. You guys are the first people that will have the opportunity to work with me for Black Friday. Let me tell y'all, I don't know if y'all know, but I went into, where was I at the other day? I went into TJ Maxx. They already got they Halloween stuff out. It's August and they already have their Halloween stuff out. So the time to plan for Black Friday is not a week before Black Friday, it's now, right? So I'm launching my Black Friday mentorship program. Every year prior to this, like when I first started out, I was so mad because I just saw how people just during that time of the year, people are like in a spending revy and people just be buying stuff and stuff goes on discounts. We all do it. You buy that TV or you buy this whatever for next year because that's when they offer their sales. And the first year I was like, I don't even know what to do. I have nothing to do. So baby, I found out about Vasita because I took a Black Friday class and it was so much good information, but I just wasn't ready to like implement it all. So I am doing a mentorship for 15 students. What you will get in the mentorship is an Instagram page audit. I will audit your Instagram page. You'll get a one-on-one coaching session with me that is your 60 minutes to do whatever you need to do. If you want to talk about all the things, you want to talk about processes, policies, you want me to give you some ideas, you want to blah, blah, blah. It's a one-on-one coaching session that I don't. Okay. Holiday sales strategies. We're going to do a Zoom class and I'm going to give you holiday sales strategies that you can use during that time of the year. You'll get consultation training, meaning if you've ever taken a course with me, if you've ever taken a class and you are struggling to get clients, I'm going to do my consult training, Close Like a Boss. I've never taught this class, and I'm going to give you basically the inside on how I get my clients off my consultation list to in my seats. That's gonna be a doozy. My email launch funnel template. So my online course, I launched that course last year. I did a Black Friday sale for that course. That's how I did my pre-sale. So I pre-sold it during Black Friday because it wasn't ready yet, but I pre-sold it during Black Friday and I made $10,000 in 2 weeks just from this email launch funnel templates. And by grinding, because I did a mentorship last year for Black Friday and I learned so much in that thing, and it was really mindset and just some grindness, but it worked. And so I know I needed that, and I was so thankful, and I didn't even get, so I upped one and added this, and then you will get 6 branded templates for your story, reel, or feed. So you'll get 6 branded templates for you to use during Black Friday. You decide how you want to use them for your story, reel, or feed, and that's what comes in the mentorship. The regular price is $9.99, but for the next 48 hours, I'm offering it for $7.49. And is there a discount code or is it already set at checkout? The price should already be changed. The price ain't changed. The price ain't changed. What you trying to buy? You trying to buy the online course? It may not have been changed because you know what? We were supposed to do a discount code and I think we didn't. We might have forgot to do one. So if you talking about the online course, give me 3 minutes and I will update I'll do it as soon as, give me 3 minutes, Ramisha, and I'll go in there and change the price because we were supposed to add a discount code, and thank you, that maybe have gotten forgotten. So I will do that. Damn, I thought I had went over and checked everything last night, but yes. So those are the 2 exclusive offers, the online course and the mentorship program. All of that is for the next 48 hours. And y'all been asking questions in between. I think this is the last thing. This was what I was gonna say. Any questions? So you can unmute yourself. Let me see if and then this is my last little thing. I just want y'all to know you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Okay. So I am going to close out of this. If I can figure out where it is. And if you have a question, you can unmute yourself and you can hop on.